Welcome to part 2 of my Introduction to Personal Financial Statement series. Today we're going to look at cash flow statements. Now we've already looked at net worth statements, and I'll link the video somewhere up top here. Now these personal financial statements are a snapshot into your financial well-being, really, and I highly recommend that you perform them on a regular basis. I perform them monthly because I have goals of improving my financial situation in all areas, so I want to track it, but I would recommend doing them at least quarterly. It's really up to you, but they really are valuable tools to see how you're doing in your financial situation. So let's get to cash flow statements. I'm going to have my trusty whiteboard here. Now, cash flow statements are a detailed description of your cash flow and of your cash inflows and outflows over a specific period. So how much money is coming in is your cash inflows, and that's like your salary, your pension, any commissions you make, any any income coming into your bank account basically is cash inflows, and cash outflows is cash going out, so that's your expenses. They include like groceries, mortgage, any money you're putting towards savings, that's going out of your bank account and somewhere else. So the purpose of a cash flow statement is to help you better understand your savings and spending patterns and identify opportunities to adjust income, savings, and spending habits to meet your goals. So that's why it's so important, because I'll show you my cash flow statements here in a minute. They're not awesome, but it's good to know that they're not very good, so I can make adjustments and either increase my income or decrease my expenses, or both, to help improve my cash flow situation. So without further ado, I'll show you my cash flow statement for March and how I calculated it. So I started performing these cash flow statements back in November, because if you've never heard of a cash flow statement, it's okay. Like, don't be like, oh no, I don't know what that is. That's fine. I didn't know about it until I started taking a financial planning course and learned about all these personal financial statements that you should be doing to get an overall view of your like financial health, essentially. So I've only started doing this in November. So if you feel like, oh, I'm behind, or I should have been doing this earlier, like, don't feel that way. You probably didn't know about it. That's why I'm doing this, because I think these are very valuable pieces of information that a lot of people don't know that they should even calculate, or that it is a calculation that they should be doing. So yeah, don't fret. Okay. So I'll be honest here. My cash flow statement is probably the statement that I least like doing, because it is not very good most months, and I am trying to improve that, but I'm not succeeding very well. So here's my cash flow statement for March. So you can see. So how you calculate your net cash flow is you have your cash inflows and your cash outflows. So cash inflows minus cash outflows equals your net cash flow, right? It's basically income minus expenses equals your cash flow. So I get this information all from my budget. If you're not budgeting, you should be budgeting, because you don't know what you don't track, and if you don't track where your money goes every month, it tends to go right out of your bank account, and you don't even know what you spent it on. So definitely have a budget, and that's where I get all this information from. That's why this doesn't take that long. And my net cash flow was negative. You'll see that $873.87. Now, this was a really bad month. I'll admit it. I had a lot of expenses that I did not account for. So I put a reason here. I always put a reason of like, why is it so bad? Because I do this monthly, so I know why. I can still remember the same month of all the expenses that I had. Otherwise, like, I don't know about you, but I lose track of time very easily, and I would probably have no idea if I did this quarterly, why throughout the whole quarter was it so rough. That's why I like to do my my personal financial statements monthly. So my reason was my variable expenses were increased dramatically this month because of kids' activities. There's a lot of sports going on. I'd register them for summer sports, school sports, and summer camps, and I did not account for it. That was my poor planning. And so I also put, I expect this month to be a blip and return to normal next month. Plan of action is make more money. That's my plan of action for all my personal financial statements because I need to earn more money. But I'll show you the month before just so you know, so you can see that it's not as bad. It's still in the red, but it was only $83 in the red, not $800. So, like I said, I always put a reason why. It's different, and my plan of action for improvement. So I do this, and I've done it since November. I'll show you November. It's my very first one that I did. I was almost $1,000 in the red, so it was gradually getting better until last month when it got significantly worse. But that's the value of doing these statements, and I know exactly why it was hot, or why it was even worse this month. And like I said, next month it should return to normal, hopefully in the black, which it hasn't been yet. I've been always negative in my cash flow, and what that means is that I'm spending more than I'm bringing in, right? There's more money leaving my bank account than there is coming in from month after month, and I know that. And that's why my goal is to increase my income. And I'm really trying to do that by going to school. I'm doing this financial planning course, which I'm learning tons of valuable information. And I'm now finally ready to go job hunting and hopefully get a job in that field that will replace my small business. I just work part-time basically right now in a small business because that's a whole other story, but that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm trying to get full-time work, and hopefully that will improve my situation. So there you go. That's the cash flow statement. And I highly recommend you do it. It doesn't take that much time. And once you do it once, like you just get in the habit of doing it monthly and use your budget for your information. And yeah, it's eye-opening to say the least. And we just don't know about it, and we're not taught all these things. And if we are in high school, like, we're not paying attention. At least I'm speaking for myself. I wasn't paying attention, but they're really valuable little snapshots into your financial well-being. And like, you can easily see, okay, my expenses are out of hand, or my income is too low. I need to increase my income. I need to decrease, like, stop spending so much. So they're very eye-opening, and yeah, so I hope you got something out of this video. If you haven't done a cash flow statement, I highly recommend that you do one. Like I said, don't be discouraged if this is the first time you've ever heard of a cash flow statement, because like I had never done it before November of 2023, so I'm still pretty new to it as well, but I find it to be very useful. So thanks for watching. Consider giving this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.